What's going on, guys? So, I was thinking today, hey, I have never done an actual horror video game collection video at all. So I decided, hey, let's do it tonight. Why not? I don't want to put it in the genre of survival horror because a lot of these games are not even close to that, but they're horror related. So I thought that was, I don't want to, condense the games into one kind of genre. So just everything horror related. So if it's zombies, if it's I don't know, paranormal, if it's a scary game, I'm going to put it in the video. Even if it's not scary, if it's horror related whatsoever, it's gonna go in the video. So, and I can already tell you there are some games in here that are not scary at all, but they're technically horror related. So first off, so just want to say in advance too, these games are not in a specific system order. They're in more of a chronological order of certain games and franchises. So at that note, we're going to start off with Fatal Frame on the PS2. So I started playing this. I haven't finished this game yet, but I started playing it. I got it a long time ago, and it's a pretty creepy game. Sorry, beer. But yeah, so basically, if anybody has not played any of the Fatal Frame games, basically what it is it's like a Japanese horror game, but instead of having weapons, you actually have a camera that actually kills the ghost. So it's basically, from what I read, it's part of a superstition of every time somebody takes a picture of you, it steals part of your soul. So that's kind of the route that these games took. Speaking of Fatal Frame, we have Fatal Frame 2 on the original Xbox, Crimson Butterfly. Again, it's very similar to the first one. This one does look better, and it is basically the same game type. You have the camera, you're using it to kill ghosts, whatever. I still haven't played the third one, which I don't even own yet. I've played both of these, and this one definitely is a better game, in my opinion. But yeah, if you guys can come across these, at a decent price, you should definitely try them out, pick them up. I'm trying to remember. I think they came out with another one past the third one. I could be wrong. I thought they were making some non sequel to the Fatal Frame series, but I could be wrong. But anyway, yeah, Fatal Frame, good games. So the next ones are not any particular order. These are just kind of some random other generic just horror Xbox games. Showed a lot of these in my other videos, but it's a horror video, damn it, so we're going to do it. So, Still Life on the original Xbox. I've played this a little bit. I tried it. It's very slow-paced, but basically what it is you play as Victoria. She is an investigator in Chicago. You're basically investigating this serial murder. It's more of an action-adventure kind of thing. It's not like hack and slash or anything. There's a lot of puzzles in this game. From what I've played, it's pretty good. It's definitely just a thriller kind of game. If you're into that, you should check it out. It's pretty cheap too. I mean, these aren't going for very much at all. Next one. I have a few of the games in this franchise. I mean, you definitely consider them horror for sure. Doom. This is the Doom 3 Collector's Edition for the original Xbox. This one does come also with the original Doom games too. But Doom 3 definitely slowed the game pace down from what the other Dooms were like. I mean, the other Dooms were, you have a gun, go kill stuff, get a key, go to the next area, so on and so forth. Where the Doom 3 on the Xbox kind of slowed the gameplay down quite a bit and made it a little bit more scary, a little bit more kind of mindfuck a little bit, I guess. But yeah, it's a good game. I haven't played this one in a long time, But yeah, it's definitely a must-have. This is another game that was on my original Xbox collection. I've had this one forever. The Suffering. It's not really a scary game at all. There's just some really cool monsters that are in this game too. Basically, what happens is you're some dude ended up in prison who decided to kill his wife and his child, and then just hell unleashes in this prison that you're in. But yeah, I mean it's definitely a decent game. There's definitely a lot worse out there. I don't have the second one. It's not really a must-have for me, I guess, but if I can find it cheap, I'll get it. But yeah, Suffering, if you can find this one, you should definitely pick it up. The next game, I wasn't sure about. I found it really cheap. It was like $3. And I've never heard of it. It's called The Curse, The Eye of Isis on the Xbox. This is another one that has been in my videos before. Honestly, I have not played this one that much since my last video. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it yet. Honestly, I have not played it enough to actually make a judgment on this one. Same with this one. Cold Fear. Haven't played this one enough. I do know quite a bit about it, I guess, but basically you're on a boat and you're kind of fucked. So yeah, don't know much, but give me a while. I'll do a review on this one possibly at some point. Another great game, Manhunt. Played this one to death. It's pretty fucked up. I like it, but yeah, nothing else more to say about it. Pick it up if you can find it. This is actually one of my favorite Xbox games. I know I've said this many times about this game, but Indigo Prophecy on the Xbox. It's also on the PS2. It's made by the guys who made Heavy Rain, so it's a very action-adventure game, and it's a horror game, so it's definitely up my alley. I do like this game quite a bit. If you can find this, you definitely need to pick it up and try it out. The next game, I mean, I guess you could consider it a horror game. I mean, it's zombie related, but it's not scary at all. It's more of just a fun, kind of quirky kind of game. It's Stubbs the Zombie. This one is actually a really fun game. I played this quite a bit. Basically, you're, I think, in the 50s, and you're just a zombie that goes around and kills people. So, I mean, what else do you need on that? I mean, this is a great game. And it's hard to come by now. So my next stack here is actually a series of games that are my favorites. So the first game in the series is the original Silent Hill. I haven't actually played this one yet. I know, blasphemy, but I hear great things on this one. I definitely wanted this one to have. I mean, I got this one really cheap too, but yeah. If it's anything like the second one, I mean, it's going to be a good game. Speaking of the second one, I actually have two copies. I have the Xbox version, Restless Dreams, in a shitty case, and I have the PS2 version. This is my favorite Silent Hill game so far. If I haven't, since I haven't played the first one, but yeah, great atmosphere, really creepy game. I mean, you can't get any better than this at all. This Silent Hill 2 is basically what they're trying to remake again with all the Silent Hill games that are coming out. They definitely need to try to shoot to get as good as this one. Next one, there's also two copies of this. Silent Hill 4, The Room. This one's actually sealed. This one is opened. Fun fact of this game, it was not actually supposed to be a Silent Hill game to begin with. I don't remember the exact name, but I think it was Room 302, I believe, is what this game originally was going to be. But then they put the Silent Hill name on it, and boom, it's a Silent Hill game. I know this game gets a lot of flack, but I actually don't mind this at all. Funny thing is, this game actually reminds me of a movie. It's based on off of Stephen King. It's called 1408. It almost gives me the feel of that movie. And also, I was watching the movie last night. I'm like, God damn, this could be a Silent Hill game, I think. But yeah, it's not bad. The next one I've picked up recently. I haven't played it yet. I know it's horrible. Silent Hill Shattered Memories. From what I've heard, this is basically you're set in like your dreams, I believe. Yeah, Harry Mason must survive untold horrors to find his missing daughter and the twisted truth behind the town of Silent Hill. I haven't yet played it yet, but I will, and I will. You know, hopefully I like it. I mean, this game has gotten mixed reviews, but I'm pretty excited to try it. The next one, it's a 360 Silent Hill game. I couldn't get into it at all. It's Silent Hill Homecoming. I tried to play it. I mean, it's definitely creepy, but I mean, the story is just lame, I think. But maybe I'll try it again soon. So there's all these Silent Hills. Next one you all know very fondly. I hope so if you like horror games. First one in my collection, without a manual, is Resident Evil Director's Cut. It's the greatest hits, but yeah, it doesn't have a fucking manual. But this is honestly the first horror game I've ever played when on the PS1. I had the long box version. This got me into horror. At the time, this game was the shit. Now, I mean, you know, it's got the cheesy voice acting and stuff like that, but I mean, it's still an awesome game, especially with all the remakes coming out for it too. I've been thinking about getting the Resident Evil HD remake on the PS4. I just haven't done it yet, but yeah, Resident Evil 1, just a staple in horror in in general for the video game community. My favorite Resident Evil, Resident Evil 2. Again, there's not much to say about it. Everybody has said something about this game. Said everything about it. Just a great game in general. This one I haven't played much of, actually. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Yeah, I can't say much. Honestly, I haven't played enough of it. I kind of got burnt out after Resident Evil 2. I was like, okay, let's switch to something different. But definitely going to try this out soon. Same with this one, Resident Evil Outbreak. This was on my last PS2 game collection video. Haven't played enough. That's all I'm going to say. Now this one I played enough of to tell you it's fucking badass. This is one of my favorites. Resident Evil 4, open. This one's sealed. Yeah, a sealed greatest hits. How fucking awesome. But yeah, Resident Evil 4 kind of lit the fire up under the franchise again. Great game. Can't say enough about it. And this one, I mean, this one catches a lot of shit too, but it's still a good game. Resident Evil 5, this is the Steelbook. You know, yeah, it's not the same, you know, atmosphere of the other Resident Evils. I mean, it's still a good game. I guarantee if you put a different name on it other than Resident Evil on this game, people will love it. But yeah, it catches a lot of shit. These are more of the kind of random. Well, I suppose I could have put this in by the first one. Manhunt 2, basically close to the same as the first one. Nothing really too different. Siren. This is another one that was on my video before. It's creepy as shit. It's more Japanese horror related. Basically, the city surrounded by blood. But yeah, check it out. Obscure the Aftermath. Again, it's basically college kids, shit going wrong, people dying, drama. You know, whatever. And you saw this in my last video. I'm so fucking happy to actually have this. Rule of Rose. Doesn't have the manual, like I said before, but yeah, basically, it's set in the 30s. It's a bunch of children called the Aristocrats of the Red Crayon. They do a bunch of fucked up stuff, and you have a puppy. You have a puppy. I mean, you have a horror game. You can't not have a dog. I mean, it's just the way it is. These are some random 360 horror games. Left 4 Dead 2. Played this a shit ton. I mean, it's Left 4 Dead. I mean, it's a great game. Good multiplayer. Next one is Clive Barker's Jericho. It's definitely dated. I mean, it doesn't look as good as what it did when it first came out. But, I mean, it's still Clive Barker. I mean, Clive Barker is the shit. He's the man. So, I'm glad to have this. This is actually the special edition. I've showed this before, but it does have the disc of making the game. This one, you could still classify this as a horror game, too. It's creepy as fuck. It's Catherine. The puzzles and stuff with the big ass baby. It's weird. It's such a cool game, and it's made by Atlas. I mean, you cannot go wrong with an Atlas title. Fear 2, Project Origin. Creepy atmosphere, creepy little girl. Fuck that little bitch. I hate her. Yeah, it's a creepy game. It's awesome. Alan Wake. So this one isn't really... I mean, I'd still say it's a horror game. It's creepy, but basically, I mean, it's just your head just fucking with you the whole time. But yeah, I mean, your only weapon really that is effective is light, so it's definitely creepy. I do like this game a lot. Splatterhouse, it's okay. Is it a game? Yeah, it's a game too. It's not as good as like the Genesis versions, but it's kind of a budget title. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's okay. Condemned: Criminal Origins, awesome game. One of the launch titles for the 360. I had this game when it first came out, and yeah, I mean, basically, like, it's basically beating up a bunch of crackheads. Is kind of what it is. Can't say anything about horror without saying anything about Dead Space. I don't have the first one. My girlfriend does. She has the first one. I have Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3. Dead Space 3 gets a lot of crap. I mean, honestly, this is a great game. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not as creepy as Dead Space 1 and 2, but why should it be? I mean, Dead Space has proved themselves that they can be scary as hell. Dead Space 3, I mean, it's got a little bit of scariness to it, but I mean, it's maybe it's not a horror game. You know, maybe they took a different direction and made it more of a co-op, action game. Big fucking deal. It's still a good game. So anybody that talks shit about this game, you're fucking retarded. That's all I'm gonna tell you. And we have Dead Island Riptide. It was okay. I mean, it's not any different than the first one. Also, well, I forgot a game downstairs, Dying Light on the Xbox One. Dying Light, I mean, it's made by Techland, who made this game. It's very similar, but I think Dying Light is a hell of a lot better than any of the Dead Island games were. So, a couple random PS1 games. Greatest hits version of Alien Trilogy. It reminds me of Doom, but Aliens. And it's not. I mean, it's a decent game. It's not bad, but it's not the greatest either. And then this game I actually haven't played yet either. It's made by Konami, so it's got to be all right. It's Project Overkill. It almost looks like a kind of a Diablo kind of game to me. I haven't played it yet. This game, it's a Genesis game. You could technically consider it a horror game, I suppose. Haunting, starring Poltergeist. Basically, you're a poltergeist in a house that haunts different objects in the room and scares the shit out of people. I mean, it's a cool game. And then Super Nintendo, Bram Stoker's Dracula. I recently just picked this up. I haven't played it yet. But, give me a while, I will. Ooh, yes, and these two are known by many retro gamer enthusiasts. These aren't scary whatsoever, and they're not even good games. It's just cool to have them because they're kind of a staple in the genre. Nightmare on Elm Street on the NES and Friday the 13th on the NES. Like I said, they're not good games at all. I mean, they're pretty shit, but it's still cool to have them just because, I mean, at least they tried. You know, at least they tried to make a horror game. I mean, in the NES days, there was not many very scary games out there. Where at least these guys, you know, it is LJN, so anything by LJN you kind of look at and you're like, oh, that's probably garbage. But I mean, they tried anyway. Next game is actually a 3DS game. Spirit Camera. Only dumb thing about this game is you have to play it in the daytime because the manual is actually part of the game. This is why I don't actually have this game in my my DS box or my travel case, because where am I going to put the manual? I'm not going to carry the entire game with me everywhere. I haven't played it that much actually. I got kind of bored with it, especially in the daytime. I'm like, why the hell would you play a horror game in the daytime? It's fucking retarded. Oh, speaking of Doom, we have Doom on the 32X. I mean, Doom, I mean, it's basically the same game on every platform. It's badass. I mean, Doom, you can't fuck with Doom. I mean, Doom started it all. I mean, that's about all I gotta say about it. And then the next one, I showed you guys this one in the last video, but you can't have a horror video without Night Trap. So, for those of you who don't know what Night Trap was all about, basically it was an interactive movie, basically. So, there was a bunch of girls having a slumber party, wearing nighties and stuff like that. And, liberals had a bunch of bullshit to say about it. Like, oh, this is hurting our children. Get the fuck out of here. It's a fucking video game. Everybody needs to relax. But anyway, yeah, I haven't actually dug my Sega CD out yet to play this yet, but I will eventually. Hopefully I get a CDX anyway, and then I could just throw this in there and call it good. But, yeah, actually, guys, that was my last horror game that I actually own at the moment. Obviously, they're going to keep coming, but, yeah. You guys have a good night. I'm going to keep drinking my beer. You guys have a good one. Later.